Sister Elena did not make a sound when the priest pushed her against the rough stone wall in the small church room. She had learned from hard times that yelling only made him hold tighter, made his breath hotter, made his quiet words meaner in her ear. His hand covered her mouth. The stiff cloth at his neck rubbed her cheek. His voice cut into her like a sharp knife. "If you fight me, you fight God," he said with a hiss. "No one will believe you more than me." By the time fall came to the Santa Rosa Mission near Las Vegas in New Mexico land, her body already knew the bad habit. His hand on her shoulder, leading her to the private box where no one could hear. She had come to the mission thinking she would give her life to kindness, to kids, to God. But night after night, she gave it to Father Dominic Hale, the man the whole town called a real saint. When the first sickness hit, she thought it was from feeling bad inside. When her belt would not stay tight, she told herself it was from thin beans and hard bread. It was Father Hale who said the word she was too scared to say. Pregnant. He said it with a smile that did not reach his eyes. Then his face changed. "This is not from me," he told her. "What grows in you is a bad spirit sent to test us." In just 1 week, the mission was full of quiet talks. A nun whose belly grew big like a bad person's. Something moving under her ribs. Father Hale stood at the front of the church and told the story he made up. He said he fought dark things at night. He said the devil got into Sister Elena through her dreams. He said her belly was now a fight between heaven and hell, and only a holy man like him could choose if she lived or died. In the quiet garden area, he trapped her again. His breath smelled bad from wine. His fingers pushed into the sore spots he had made himself. "You will say you let the bad spirit in," he whispered. "You will ask me to save you in front of everyone. If you say my name, I will tell them you tried to make me do it. I will tell them you liked it." Her nun clothes no longer hung loose. They stuck tight over her round belly. The cloth pulled and got dirty where his hands grabbed and where her own nails tore it. Every step hurt. Every night she felt the baby move and did not know if it was good life or a curse. Father Hale said that on the next Sunday he would do a big church act to push the devil out of Sister Elena. Someone asked what would happen if the devil did not go. The priest just smiled and said soft, "Then God will pick how much of her has to burn." That night, with her belly tight like a drum and fear tight in her throat, Sister Elena looked at the mission gate. She wondered, if every person in this dry land believes the priest, what chance does one hurt woman have to live through what is coming? Elena woke to the sound of feet in the hall. Not the slow steps of old nuns, but the quick click of boots that knew where to go. She got off her bed and went to the door with a crack. She looked through the small opening. Father Hale stood in the yard with 2 older brothers from the church. She heard her name, soft at first, then loud and clear. "We do it on Sunday," Hale said. "The whole town will be here. We pulled the devil out where they can see, and if it kills her, they will call it God's choice." One brother stopped for a second. "What about the baby?" Hale let out a long breath, like he was tired of easy questions. "If it dies, it was never a real baby," he said. "If it lives, we say we saved it." They laughed low as they walked away. Their voices got lost in the dark. Elena put her head on the door. Her stomach hurt bad. The baby kicked like it wanted out now. Up to that point she had hoped God would help, that the church would keep her safe. Now she knew the truth. If she stayed, she would not live past Sunday. She waited until the bells rang for late-night prayers. The mission went into that odd half-sleep time, too late for people to come, too early for morning. She wrapped her prayer beads on her wrist. She put a piece of bread in her pocket. She put on the plainest coat she could find. Every move made her make a small sound of pain. Her belly felt like a heavy rock.
The front gate was locked, so she went to the goat area, where the mud wall was low and worn from years of rain and animal feet. She climbed with her hands and knees. Her dress tore, her breath burned. The baby rolled inside her like a big storm. On the other side, she fell hard into the dirt. The cool night air of the New Mexico desert hit her face like a hard wind. Far away, she heard wild dogs calling. Even farther, the wind over empty land. No singing, no bells, just big open space. She walked toward the thin line of the old Santa Fe Road, the same path traders and soldiers used for years. Someone once told her you could follow it all the way to Texas if you were strong enough. Right then, being strong was all she had. Her nun clothes got wet with sweat. The salt hurt the sore skin where ropes had cut her wrist before. 2 times she thought she heard horses behind her. 2 times it was just her heart beating loud in her ears. She talked to the baby to keep her mind from breaking. "You are not a bad spirit," she whispered. "You hear me, little one. You are not what he called you." She crossed into Texas flatland without knowing the exact time. She only knew her legs shook. The pains came faster now. Late that afternoon, she went up a small hill and saw it. A few wood buildings far away, a thin fence line, some dark shapes that could be cows or could be help. Her next step gave out. She fell to her knees in the yellow grass, both hands on her belly. "Just a bit more," she told the baby. "Stay with me."
As the world got small with heat and dirt and pain, she saw a horse rider coming across the field toward her, hat low against the sun. A stranger on a farm horse, heading right for the bleeding nun alone in his field. He did not know yet that every lie Father Hale told was about to drop right at his feet. Elias Grant first thought he saw a broken scarecrow, someone dressed for a joke. Out at the far side of his field, in all that yellow grass, a gray shape leaned into the wind. The head cover flapped. The skirt was torn. Then the gray shape put a hand on its belly. He saw the red blood. Elias made his horse walk faster than a slow run. He was 48. His bones hurt in the morning, but he still sat on a horse like when the army paid him to look for paths. It turned out he was wrong about what it was. As he got close, he saw her face. Young, maybe in her middle 20s, pale like milk under dust. The black head cover told him she was a nun from some mission. The way she moved told him she was about to fall down. "Ma'am, you should sit," he called. She tried to answer, but what came out was a broken sound. Half a prayer, half a cry. One more step, and her knees gave way. Elias jumped off his horse fast. He caught her under the arms before she hit the ground. She was not heavy, but she was all baby in front, her belly round and hard against his arm. The cloth over it was wet, dark, and sticky. "Good heavens," he said low. "What did they do to you?" Her fingers grabbed his shirt. "Do not send me back," she said with short breaths. "Please do not send me back to Father Hale." That name meant nothing to him yet, but the fear in her eyes did. Elias had seen that same wild look in horses that got hit too many times. He put her on the grass as soft as he could. He knelt by her. The tear in her nun dress went from her hip to her knee. If he was going to help, he had to see how bad it was. "Sister, I'm just looking for hurts," he said. "Do you hear me?" She nodded. She bit her lips so hard he thought she might make them bleed. The farm man looked under the torn cloth. He stopped cold. Under the ripped cloth, her skin was a map of hurt. Old yellow marks like finger shapes. New purple spots like a man's strong hold. Thin white lines on her back that looked like old whip cuts that healed. And in the middle of it all, that tight, big belly. It jumped now and then as the baby inside tried to move. That was not the work of any devil from church stories. That was the work of a man. For a long second, Elias just knelt there, his hand in the air, his jaw tight. He could have walked away. It was not his job, not his fight. But between one heartbeat and the next, he chose something that would change every life on that field. Sister, my name is Elias Grant. I am not a churchman, but I am not leaving you out here.
Her eyes got full, not with pain tears this time, but something like being safe. Before we go on with them, if you have not yet, please hit that follow button so you do not miss how this story ends. Get a cup of coffee or tea. Sit down with me. Tell me in the comments what time it is right now and where you are listening from. Elias did not wait. He got Sister Elena up on his horse. He got on behind her. He put one strong arm around her so she would not fall. "If you fall asleep on me, I am still taking you to a doctor," he said. "Talk to me later." She did fall asleep, right against his chest, like a bag of soft flour that still breathed. He rode that horse hard toward Vegatown. Dust flew behind them. He talked low to keep himself calm. "Hold on, sister," he said. "God sent you to the one old man out here who has nothing better to do than fight." In town, he went right to the woman who helps with babies. Elias waited outside, hat in his hands. He listened to her cries start and stop. More than once, he thought about leaving. This was church trouble. He was no churchman. But every time that thought came, he remembered those hurt marks. When the baby finally got quiet and the helper came out, her old face looked kinder. "The baby is fine." "And the man who did this?" Elias asked. The helper shrugged her shoulders. "Some say a priest in New Mexico." Her eyes got narrow. Men like that do not stop by themselves. By morning, he had decided. He waited until she could stand without shaking. Then he got his wagon ready. He put in water, blankets, and food. He told Elena his plan as they turned back to New Mexico. "You have two choices," he said kind. "Hide on my land and hope that priest never looks for you, or come with me to your mission and tell the real story to the people he lied to." She looked at him, tired, eyes big. "You would do that for me?" "For you, and for the next girl he picks to fight his war with the devil," Elias said. "I have seen men like him in the army and not. They only stop when someone stands up. I have fought wild fighters, cow stealers, and this hard land, but I have never turned away from someone who needs help, and I'm not starting now with a woman and her baby." She was quiet a long time. Then she looked at the corner where her new baby slept in a borrowed bed. "If I stay quiet," she whispered, "he grows up with a lie I did not fix. I will not let Father Hale own his story too." So they went. 2 weeks later, a dirty wagon came back to Las Vegas, New Mexico land. A woman who used to be a nun, baby in her arms, strong fire in her back. Luck or God's help, there was a U.S. lawman already in town. At the Santa Rosa Mission, looking at a fight over land, Father Hale was at the front steps saying hello to him when Elias and Elena walked through the gate. The priest got white in the face. Then he smiled for the people. "There's the lost sister and the man who took her to sin." Right there, in front of the lawman, the town people, and the painted holy pictures on the church walls, Elias felt the whole place stop breathing. Would they believe the priest on the steps? Or the woman with the hurt marks who came home to say what really happened?
The quiet broke in a way no one thought. It was not Elias who spoke first. It was not Father Hale. A farm woman's wife near the door lifted her head. "I have helped all my babies come into the world," she said. "I know the marks a man's hands leave on a woman, and I know the look of someone who carried a baby for months. No devil does that slow hurt." Low talks went through the crowd. Another woman near the wall looked down at her shoes. Her voice shook, but she spoke. "The priest asked me to stay late and pray with him once," she said. "He locked the doors. I thought it was my fault for years." A third voice came from the back, old, rough from dust and fire smoke. "He asked my girl to do the same," a mother said. "I told her no. Now I see why." The U.S. lawman turned his head slow to Father Hale. "You want to explain that, Father?" For a moment, the priest lost his holy smile. His face got mad, eyes sharp like a man caught in his own trick. Then he ran for the church table drawer, where he kept a gun for long, alone nights. Elias's body moved before his brain did. Old army ways woke up fast, like someone kicked a door open inside him. One big step, he hit the priest's hands. The gun shot up into the roof. White pieces fell down like dirty snow in the mess. Elena did something no one expected from the quiet nun. She stepped up, baby in her arms. She spoke clear so the colored glass windows could hear. "That baby is his, and I will not let him call my son the devil's work one more time." That was the end. The last bit of doubt broke. The lawman put chains on Father Hale right there on the mission steps. The church would send letters, lawyers, soft words later, but the town had seen enough. The bad man in church clothes was taken away. He yelled about devils and tricks, but no one listened anymore. The case went to judges and church leaders far from the desert. In the end, Father Hale died in a jail cell, far from any church table. And Elena, she put down her head cover and her nun name, but she kept her belief in God. On Elias Grant's small farm near Vega, people learned to call her Elena Grant. She cooked on a simple fire, fixed shirts, and said real prayers over a baby bed, where a baby with dark hair kicked his feet and laughed at dust in the sunlight. Elias never called that boy a curse. When people asked, he just lifted his shoulders. "He has my last name. That is all anyone needs to know." If this story moved something in you, friend, stop and think about it. In that hot little church, who would you believe first? The priest with the nice talk, or the woman with the hurt marks and the baby in her arms? And in your own life, when someone tells the hard true story at last, do you look away, or do you stand up like Elias did? If you want more Old West stories about quiet brave, hard choices and strong hearts, like this one so it can go farther. Follow so you do not miss the next story from the wildland. Get a cup of coffee or tea, sit down, and tell me in the comments what time it is where you are and where you are listening from right now.